frozen out the Prophet's 3-year survival guide. Imagine this, your bank account's gone. Poof, your Venmo, not working. You go to the grocery store, the cashier's like, sorry, we got a note. Can't sell to you. Even your own family is giving you the side eye at the iftar table. Brutal, right? Now imagine living like that for 3 years. That's what Prophet Muhammad and his early followers went through during the Quraysh boycott. They were pushed to the edge, starving, isolated, but guess what? They didn't just survive, they thrived. How'd they do it? They had a secret weapon, 3 powerful principles that still work today. These aren't your typical self-help platitudes, fam. This is next-level resilience forged in the fires of real struggle. Let's talk about Shib Abi Talib. This wasn't just some random valley in Mecca. This became the crucible where a community was tempered into steel. The Quraysh wanted to squeeze the Muslims out of existence. No trade, no support, no nothing. Inside Shib Abi Talib, something extraordinary happened. The Muslims, facing down starvation, started sharing everything. We're talking dividing a single date into multiple portions, rotating who got to eat each day. They understood that their survival depended on each other. And it wasn't just about the physical necessities. Imagine the psychological pressure cooker they were in, the constant fear, the uncertainty, the feeling of being completely alone in the world. But they had each other's backs, literally praying shoulder to shoulder, reinforcing their faith and their commitment to this new way of life. They knew that if they fractured, if they turned on each other, they were finished. So they chose unity, they chose compassion, they chose to be the living embodiment of the very message they were being persecuted for. True strength, true resilience comes from the bonds we forge with each other. They were a community under siege, yes, but they were a community nonetheless. Okay, let's get real. 3 years, 950 days. That's a long time to be living on the edge. It's enough to break anyone, right? But here's the thing about pressure. It can either crush you, or it can forge you into something unbreakable. The Quraysh thought they were breaking the Muslims. They figured hunger pangs and social isolation would be enough to make them renounce their faith. But what they didn't realize is that every day of hardship was a lesson in resilience. Hunger is temporary. Social pressure? It fades. But the principles you stand by, the sacrifices you make for what you believe in, that stuff lasts. That becomes your legacy. The Prophet and his companions, they weren't just surviving, they were building a legacy. They were showing the world that their faith wasn't some fleeting trend. It was an unbreakable commitment, forged in the crucible of suffering. Think about the most successful people you know, the ones who've really made an impact. Do you think they got there by taking the easy road, by caving under pressure? No way. They faced challenges head-on, they learned from their setbacks, and they came out stronger on the other side. The Shib Abi Talib experience was a masterclass in turning pressure into power. Chapter 3. When humans fail you, look up. Now you might be thinking, okay, Hassan, this is all very inspiring, but we're talking about real life here. Sometimes things are just impossible. And you know what? You're right. Sometimes human efforts just aren't enough. But that's when something else kicks in, divine help. The story of the boycott isn't just about human resilience. It's about the incredible ways that Allah supports those who stand firm in their faith. Remember that contract the Quraysh drew up, the one outlining the boycott in all its cruelty? Legend has it that termites ate away at the entire document, except for the words, "In your name, O Allah." Coincidence? I don't think so. Then there were the secret deliveries of food and supplies, smuggled into Shib Abi Talib by sympathetic Meccans, some of whom were former enemies. Hearts were changing even in the darkest of times, and who's to say those hearts weren't being moved by a power beyond human comprehension? When we've exhausted our own resources, when we've hit the limits of our own strength, that's when we need to open ourselves up to a different kind of support. A support that comes from beyond the material world, a support that transcends human limitations. The Prophet and his companions, they didn't just rely on their own strength, they relied on something much bigger than themselves. They placed their trust in Allah, and in doing so, they tapped into a wellspring of strength that saw them through their darkest hour. So fam, whatever Shib Abi Talib you're going through right now, ask yourself, who's in your corner? Who are the people who've got your back no matter what? Because real talk, that's your lifeline. Second, what lessons is this pressure teaching you? Because trust me, you're being prepped for something bigger. Don't waste the struggle. And finally, keep your eyes open for those moments of divine help. They might come in whispers, they might come in thunder, but they're coming. Remember, they thought they were burying you, but actually they were planting you.